Доброго времени суток, дорогие друзья, с вами ИНФУш. Надо уже закончить прохождение The Outer World. Давным-давно я начал его. Не помню даже в каком году, может даже в 21-м. Ну нет, вряд ли, но... В какой-то момент я закончил основной сюжет и хуй забил на игру. В общем, долго проходил убийство на Эридане. DLC первое. Вот сейчас приступлю к второму DLC. Так. В общем, начальное сообщение DLC я тут уже получил. Служба доставки посылок Активно доставила посылку для Алекса Хордона, поскольку капитан Хордон скачался, посылка прав лежит.
Hawthorne, if you're getting this, something's happened to me. Got mixed up in some shady business on Gorgon. Should have known better. But I landed on something big. And now this job's an itch I can't stop scratching. There's a whole research compound left of the Sprats. I think I'm close to figuring out why. But something dangerous is closer to me. Got the job through one Minnie Ambrose. Top runger who just came into some money. Was offering a hefty bid card for qualified help. Trust me, her money's good. Talk to Minnie. Take the job. If I ain't gonna live to see the payday, might as well be you. Consider us even, old pal.
Well, that fellow certainly seemed trustworthy.
I've gotten jobs from some unusual sources, but this is a first. Congratulations, Captain.
I don't mean to sound prim, Captain, but there's gotta be a better way to ask someone to do you a favor.
I just want to say, we gotta take this job. This is the closest I ever been to starring in a serial drama. Only thing we're missing is a couple of cameras and a soundtrack.
At least this won't be boring.
Да что вообще происходит?
Lucky Montoya owed Captain Hawthorne a considerable debt. I believe this is what humans refer to as payback. Captain, the message contains landing coordinates for a small asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. It was recently registered to a Wilhelmina Ambrose.
А, да, кто это был?
He was an old friend of Alex Hawthorne's. Lucky Montoya had a statistically significant tendency to encounter situations of extreme danger.
Well, yeah, I doubt this guy lost his arm filling out paperwork.
He was also the fourth best paid freelancer in the system.
Звучит обнадеживающе.
This had less correlation with his measured aptitudes, which rank at or below average, than with a pattern of fortunate circumstances.
Ты говоришь об удаче?
Luck does not exist, Captain. Nevertheless, I am programmed to agree with your assessment. I have transferred the coordinates for Ambrose Manor to your navigation terminal. We can travel there when you are ready.
Hawthorne, if you're getting this, something's happened to me. Got mixed up in some shady business on Gorgon.
Так, есть ли такой момент, чтобы субтитры больше сделать? Пятерочка. Вот так.
Oregon. Should have known better. But I landed on something big. And now this job's an itch I can't stop scratching. There's a whole research compound left to the sprats. I think I'm close to figuring out why. But something dangerous is closer to me. Got the job through one Minnie Ambrose. Top runger who just came into some money. Was offering a hefty bit card for qualified help. Trust me, her money's good. Talk to Minnie. Take the job. If I ain't gonna live to see the payday, might as well be you. Consider us even, old pal.
Hey, Cap.
Давай поговорим о наших делах на Горгоне.
Sure.
Что думаешь о нашей работе?
Right now, I'm feeling like a canid following a trail of treats. Like I'm being misled at best. At worst, walking into a trap. Keep those eyes open, Captain.
Hey, Cap.
Good to see you, boss.
Найдется минутка, я хочу поговорить с тобой о наших делах на Горгоне.
So we just sat around a table talking about a severed arm. Of all the weird things that happened on this ship, that ranks somewhere in the middle.
Что ты думаешь об этом? Лаке Монтойя.
You ever watch The Masked Marketeer?
Звучит знакомо.
Episode 5 of The Masked Marketeer. First appearance of a recurring villain. Big old galoot, built like one of those industrial class garbage compressors. His name? Tiny. Every adventure serial's gotta have a supporting character with an ironical name. It's a rule of the Genry. Masked Marketeer had a massive bruiser named Tiny, and we got ourselves a real unfortunate hullhead named Lucky. Coincidence? I think not.
Похоже, эта работа пробудила в тебе энтузиазм.
We're freelancers. We take any job we can get. But this one? The dying message of a stranger. A severed hand delivered in a crate. Let's just say it beats flying around the colony running errands. So, of course, I'm gonna be excited.
Интересная мысль, посмотрим, к чему она нас приведет.
You're a master of understatement, boss.
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. Something vexing you, Cap?
Макс, что ты в целом думаешь о Горгоне?
Perhaps it's just my judicious nature, but I think we should be careful if we're following up on this lucky fellow's message.
Почему это?
I've always felt caution as the best approach when one has delivered a message attached to a severed limb.
Ясно, что ты думаешь о том, что он сказал?
He sounded lost, perhaps slightly untethered from reality. A feeling I know all too well. It doesn't strike me as a setup, but I still advise caution.
Думаешь, нам стоит за это взяться?
Why not? It is what we do, isn't it?
Dust accumulation analysis. 2.5 years.
Ну, погнали на астероид. Я там еще пара персонажей для общения.
You think I could hire myself out to ships in need someday? Be my own mechanic, like how Ellie's her own doctor? I wonder sometimes.
Есть какие-то мысли о Горгоне?
It's a shame about what happened to that lucky fella. Maybe finishing what he started will help put his spirit to rest.
Ты уже наверняка смотрела весь безнадежно. Нашла какие-нибудь записи о Лаки Монтоя?
Not a word. And I've been sticking my nose in every one of our stately ladies' crannies, stem to stern. Oh, law. That sounds untoward, don't it? That ain't what I meant. Point is, Captain, Mr. Hawthorne left all kinds of scribblings behind panels and under consoles, but ain't a lick of it mentioned Mr. Lucky. So whatever they got up to in the past must have been really extra secret. And lots of fun.
Какие мысли о нашей текущей работе?
It sure is lonely out here on the edge of the colony. Anything could happen, and ain't no one gonna come to help us. Alrighty. You change your mind? You know, whoever wired this ship up had no idea what they were...
Я не око. Нормально. На включение микрофона это мышь 4. Висит. Удар. Ну вот оно. Отвязать. На дно аль повесить.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? I request you do not wait.
Строят на затворка галактики заброшенная база просто космоса, а также родной дом мародеров и контрабандистов.
Remember that you are not in... Assured.
Welcome to Ambrose Manor. We were not expecting company. Please follow. Do not stray from the path.
Do not stray from the path. This thing sounds exactly like Max. You gotta admit, that was kind of funny.
I've never seen a more effective argument against blindly following a preordained plan.
Running diagnostic. Error. Diagnosing diagnostic.
Дневник смотрителя 1. Дневные дела подместиться от спокойствия для миссис Оливии, смазать рыбу для мистера Харви, повторить. Когда меня наняли на должность смотрителя, я не знал, зачем придется смотреть. Меня даже не пускают в поместье. Все говорят, что семья Амброза живет закрыто. Но я не представлял, насколько. Наверное, мне нужно найти хобби. Мистер Харви уронил ключ-карту в пруд. Оставлю ее себе на случай, если он будет ее искать. Но к дому подходить не стану. Нельзя отвлекать миссис Оливию от ее исследований. Нахуй это все подымаю? Не знаю. Не помню, что надо лутать, что не надо. Надо было, наверное, раскинуть все. Ну ладно.
This unit expresses dismay.
That's the last of him! Wow, Ambrose Manor. Hey, do you think it's haunted? I bet it's haunted.
People will go to extraordinary lengths to define themselves, won't they? This is just a facade to hide behind.
Ой. Он умереть в результате может. С высоты больше прыгнув. Надо это помнить.
This place looks kind of sad. Like it's been waiting for someone to make a home out of it.
This place has the distinct feeling of a crypt.
Взлом 150. Активировать протокол кушать подано. Хера там, блядь, даже 100 взлома еще нету. По Outer World вышло издание, ну типа ремастер что ли. The Outer World, The Space of Choice Edition.
I had a nightmare about this sort of thing once. Crawling around on my hands and knees inside a mansion, I mean.
Secret tunnel.
Там
Interesting architectural
50 на
choice.
50 отзывы. 106-150. Нихера такой взлом нужен, я хуею. Брос. 1 февраля 2023 года. Этим утром я отдала жизнь здоровому ребенку. Возможно, было несколько странно назвать ее здоровой, однако после всего, что мне пришлось внести, чтобы увидеть ее, я считаю это замечанием важным. Она существует, вопреки всему, и это действительно важно. Я назову ее Вильгельмина, в честь моего покойного брата Вильгельмина. Я тешу себя надеждой, что закон будет к ней более милостив, чем к нему. Честно говоря, у меня много надежд, станет ли она умной и искушенной, станет ли сильной, непреклонной, безупречной. Но больше всего я надеюсь, что у нее будет сильных стальной хребет, что Алкиону ее не сломать. Что она станет сильнее, чем я. 17 марта, тот же год. Я должна найти кормилицу для Минни. Ее нужно кормить и днем, и ночью, однако я не могу позволить себе отвлекаться от работы. Кормилица должна быть особенной, умной, образованной, самостоятельной. Минни должна получить преимущество уже в начале своей жизни, чтобы выжить в этом гадюшнике, который принято называть византийской элитой. Также мне стоит подумать о гувернантке. Я не могу постоянно следить за ребенком, если собираюсь продолжить работу, когда следует начать поиски. Разумеется, она тоже должна быть особенной. А ведь особенные люди в Византии – большая редкость. Я попрошу Харви заняться этим вместо меня. Ему все равно больше нечего делать. 22 ноября 2329 год. Через 5 лет. Не понимаю, где амбициозные люди находят время, чтобы вести дневники, решительно не понимаю. И вот теперь я уже сама даю волю чувствам, нисколько не сомневаюсь, что это влияние Мини. Ее поведение меня беспокоит. Она навязчивая и эмоциональна. В 5 лет она уже должна была начать формироваться как личность, а не плакать, когда ее мать уходит, чтобы вернуться к своей работе на Горгоне. Должно быть, в этом виновата гувернантка Мэри. Так как Минни просто не могла научиться такому, у меня придется уволить эту женщину. Мне стало совершенно ясно, что она подает Минни плохой пример. Харви пребывает в отчаянии из-за того, что не может найти гувернантку, которая удовлетворит моим абсурдным требованиям. Нам пришлось потратить несколько часов на эту дискуссию, но в итоге он все равно со мной согласился. С чего он взял, что я не могу, чтобы... С чего он взял, что я не хочу, чтобы моя дочь была счастлива? Возможно, его также стоит уволить. 5 июня 2337. Это через 8 лет. Да? Да. Из-за Мини я себя места не нахожу. В 13 лет моя дочь уже должна была в совершенстве овладеть химией, физикой и математикой, но она с трудом освоила деление простых чисел. Она не может запомнить даже простейшие уравнения формулы, сколько бы гувернантка не била ее по рукам. В ее возрасте я уже научилась изготавливать динамит в лаборатории своего деда, но из-за Мини я сама готова взорваться от злости. Ее отец спросил, почему мы не можем отправить ее в пансион. Но мне дурно от одной лишь мысли, что ее будут окружать одни избалованные идиоты. Но беда не приходит одна. Она начала проявлять интерес к романтическим сериалам и живописи. При этом она хорошо понимает теорию восприятия цвета и умеет пользоваться акварельными красками. Однако я не сомневаюсь, что это заслуга уроков спектроскопии, и ее врожденный талант здесь ни при чем. И вообще, искусство — пустая трата времени. Сегодня утром она передала мне ужасный портрет Фрэнсиса. Ее ума не приложу, что с ним делать. Возможно, просто уберу в ящик стола. Потом вместе над этим посмеемся, когда она вырастет и поумнеет. 28 апреля. Удаленная запись, 105 взлома надо. Да ебаный в рот, пойду я взлом прокачаю. Сейчас вернусь. 28 апреля 2348. А это уже через 11 лет. Сегодня утром к нам в поместье пришел Люсьен. Люсьен, я думала, что он искал меня, чтобы придушить после недавней ссоры. Но нет, все оказалось куда хуже. Он пришел поговорить с Мини. Нетрудно догадаться, почему. Несколько лет назад она вызвалась лично управлять нашим домашним хозяйством, поскольку ни у меня, ни у отца не было на это времени, а заодно и желания. Под ее руководством продуктивность прислуги выросла на 35%, а все расходы сократились на ошеломительную величину 67%. Мы сэкономили десятки тысяч битов. Полагаю, Люсьену об этом рассказал Харви. Теперь он хочет, чтобы она помогла в управлении объектами на Горгоне, в чем я ему наотрез отказала, несмотря на громкие протесты Мини. Когда он ушел, она заплакала. Если бы я только могла ей сказать, почему так было нужно. Так, из поместья есть? Нет, нету. Нету быстрого выхода. Так, давай-ка я как пришел, так и вернусь. Значит, взлом нужен 150. У нас викарий дает взлом, да? По навыку. Да, 10 взлома. Ну, это копейки вообще ни о чем, но... Так, и... Вот сейчас сколько у меня взлома? $97 со всеми бонусами. Это у меня с бонусом наркомания, точнее с дебафом наркомания, а так 97. Давай-ка скушаем. Показатели разума, бутылочку. Ой, я себе. Так, телесные показатели никак на взлом не влияют. А вот с разумом добавляется плюс 4. Это вообще ни о чем. Вообще пиздец ни о чем. Ой, телепорта нету. Ну ладно, набежим.
You're adjusting before you pull. You're anticipating it.
Of course I'm anticipating it. What if I shoot a friend on accident?
Work with him. You're in control here, Parvati, not the gun. Don't let a hunk of metal jerk you around. You've been around powerful machinery all your life. You're always in control, right?
I guess that's kind of like when the filler's shooting 600 cans of near molten sal tuna down the conveyor while I'm trying to tune a...
Так, подожди. Нужно же учитывать со всеми бонусами, что было 150. Стоп. Чуть не упал, блин, со стула. И бонус напарника. Итого 136 нужно. А почему дебаф? Элитная пехотная броня платина. Ага. Мгм. Броню можно будет снять. А вообще не кидать остальное. Ну тут хз, короче. На самом деле, куда еще пихать? Ну-ка, медицина. Китов 500. Надо будет подкопить. Походу придется сбрасывать что-нибудь. Подожди, взлома, вскрытие замков. А, ёбаный в рот. Давай. Сюда надо вкидывать тоже. Так, навыки пока так останутся. Релакс. А тут похуй вообще.
Here, stand like me. Just so. Hips square. Lean forward a little. It's just equipment. You're just an engine.
Weary.
Активный протокол кушпода, блюдо по умочам основы, начинается приготовление концов коровцовой выпечки. Внимания не хватает всех или некоторых ингредиентов. Блюдо не может быть приготовлено или могут возникнуть ошибки. Просто космос не несет ответственности за испорченное. Понятно. Где кушать?
It's all in the wrist.
Удаленная запись. Как я умудрился стать такую несвоенравную дочь? Теперь она уже не просит разрешения присоединиться к проекту, а требует этого. Она говорит, что готова, что может помочь, что хочет только этого. Она не понимает, о чем просит. На Горгоне небезопасно. Воздух заражен веществом X, вода и пища также отравлены. Теперь в опасности не только подобные технические специалисты лаборатории, даже административные сотрудники начали проявлять опасные симптомы. Даже я это чувствую. Я в затруднительном положении. Я знаю, что должна делать, знаю единственный способ ее переубедить, но мне будет больно произнести это. Мини, скажу я такое... Тебе такое просто не под силу. Ты глупая, бестолковая и слабая. Она меня возненавидит, уверена, ее это уничтожит. Но это сработает, и она будет в безопасности. Это все, чего я сейчас хочу. 23:50. Харви больше нет. Его тело еще живет, но человек, за который я вышел замуж, мертв. Он ворвался в мой кабинет и украл последнюю ампулу с незавершенным препаратом. Он разбил дверь в щепки и заломки, потерял контроль. Я вызвала шаттл, чтобы его отвезли на объект для оказания медицинской помощи. Я даже убедила Приянту лично проследить за тем, чтобы его туда доставили. Он отказывается, опасаясь, что ему будет грозить опасность, но я умоляла его. Харви убил всех членов экипажа и Приянту, но шаттл не смог взлететь без пилота, и я не могла унять его ярость, поэтому бросила корабль на посадочной площадке. Несколько дней я наблюдала за тем, как он голыми руками разрывал его на части. Он потерял много крови, когда Он потерял сознание, я отнесла его к стазисной камере и подключила к системе жизнеобеспечения. Моя работа сделала это с ним. Я это сделала. Я поговорю с Люсьеном, он отложит выпуск препарата. Теперь он просто обязан это сделать. Судя по этим записям, моя мать даже в дневниках не позволила себе лишних эмоций, но чрезмерная педантичность лишь одна из сторон ее характера, и совсем не то, что я искала. Где неудержимый поток ее сознания, где ее выдающаяся гениальность? Поиски продолжаются, и они неизбежно приведут меня к Горгону. Что будет дальше, Мини? Что будет дальше? Стоила она, блядь, того, нет? Качать, бегать. Любимые мама и папа, я слишком долго ходила по этой золотой клетке, поскольку вы не разрешаете мне участвовать в семейном деле, я ухожу, чтобы начать свое. Я слишком молодая для подобного, возможно, но нужно быть готовым к такому, если вы создаете дочь по своему подобию. Византия примет меня с распростертыми объятиями, это ведь будут совершенно новые ощущения. Если я и вернусь, то смогу служить на руководителем Мини. Я видок.
Dear Wilhelmina, I hope this letter finds you well. No, it's too stilted. It sounds like I'm writing to request a loan. Dearest Wilhelmina, I regret to tell you... Law, no, that's worse. When have I ever called her dearest? She's my daughter. This should be easy. How can a mother not know how to talk to her own daughter? My love, I can no longer... For your safety, I must... Oh, hell. Even if she despises me for what I had to do, I should still be able to say goodbye. Minnie, I have to leave. And I don't intend to come back. I love you. I'm so sorry.
So who the devil are you?
Вильгельмина Амброс. Глян пуш, капитан безнадежного.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright. My burden. and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass to Gorgon.
Ты мини-амброуз, так?
That's right. And I take it you're the type who skips formalities, so let's get down to business.
Nice to meet you too. Wow.
Now, what brings you to my house, handsome? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
Я насчет второго на руки.
A severed arm. How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
Вам что-нибудь говорит имя Лаки Монтоя?
Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man. Very brooding and theatrical. Always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
The more lost we feel, the more we put on a show for others.
I could do that. The staring into space part, I mean. I'm still working on the bullet twirling thing.
But if something happened to him... Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
Что его рука делает на моем корабле?
I sent Lucky on a dangerous mission to the Gorgon asteroid. Whoever found his remains must have wanted to inform the next of kin. What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
Интеллект надо качнуть. Подожди, интеллект это базовый навык или нет? Ладно. Чем вы занимаетесь?
Settling an old score. How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
I could get used to people offering us a job at first glance. Usually they just squint at us all suspicious-like. Or reach for a pistol.
I don't believe you thought this through. Or much else for that matter.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
Насколько вероятно, что я закончу как вас прошлый подрядчик?
The man lost an arm. What are the odds of that happening twice? Of course, Gorgon is a treacherous place, and my own family's involvement with it has been fraught. Allow me to lay out the facts, and you can decide for yourself if you want to be my chief investigator. My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck. I wish I could say otherwise. One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
Зачем им врать?
Why, indeed? To cover up their crimes? To discredit someone who knew too much? I'm hoping you can find out for me. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it. I don't know, and Spacer's Choice won't say. They don't discuss anything that tarnishes their brand. Gorgon has a dark history. The project fell apart. Personnel were shuffled across the system. With Mother gone, now I'm all that's left. Father lost more than his job on Gorgon. I'll say no more than that. The asteroid may look like a glittering jewel, but I assure you the resemblance ends there. Gorgon is poisonous to the core. One might even say cursed.
Все, достаточно. Что вам от меня нужно?
Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're going to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
У меня есть вопросы.
I'm not surprised. Between the family drama and the corporate conspiracy, it must feel like you've stepped on a landmine. Speak freely, Captain.
Какой теперь у вас вам прок от журнала матери?
I suspect it will prove that corporate greed and incompetence were to blame for the calamity at Gorgon, and not Mother. Mother was a brilliant woman. Difficult, cold, unreachable even, but brilliant.
А что, если вы ошибаетесь? Может, кто-то из просто космоса забрал дневник?
Spacer's Choice evacuated in a hurry, leaving a fortune's worth of equipment in their wake. Mother's journal would have escaped their notice. This is my last hope of redeeming the Ambrose name. I don't like my chances, but I have to try. And I need help. Your help.
Почему вы медленны с началом расследования? Почему в ходе расследования погиб Лаки?
You know as much as I do, I'm afraid. Spacer's Choice abandoned Gorgon, but the asteroid is far from unoccupied. Between the marauders, the wildlife, and whatever escaped the labs, danger abounds.
Мародеры. Какое жирное местности мы говорим? Погодите, кто там сбежал из лаборатории?
Toward the end of the project, I heard Mother grumble about some test subjects running amok outside of their enclosure. I wish I could tell you more. Just watch yourself. If you aren't careful, you stand to lose more than an arm.
Почему вы медлили с началом расследования?
I didn't want to go anywhere near Gorgon. Once I exhausted all my options, the search led me back here. I even had Mother declared legally dead. Would you believe it took 5 years to process the paperwork?
Так что?
Allow me to explain. Mother's body is still on Gorgon. No body means no death certificate, which means no inheritance. I killed Mother, just on paper, of course, so I could claim my inheritance. We wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have access to the family fortune. I once assumed the mansion and the money would be enough to redeem the Ambrose name. But even in Byzantium, prestige must be earned, and it can so easily be lost.
Вы говорите, что всего лишь хотите войти в высшее сообщество.
Break back into high society, yes.
Но мне казалось, пытаемся спасти доброе имя вашей матери. Надо признать, план амбициозный. То самое высшее общество, что поставило вашу мать?
I have Spacer's Choice to thank for that. The smear campaign against Mother was the work of cowards. I'm vindicating the family name for her, for the colony, and for my future.
Чем вы можете помочь Легиону?
At the very least, I can guarantee that we learn from our mistakes. A failure on the scale of Project Gorgon should never be allowed to happen. This colony is in trouble. The lunatics at Spacer's Choice are running the asylum, and we need better people to wield their influence. After Gorgon, I quickly discovered that the Ambrose name was cursed, for lack of a better term. I had no place among the decision makers. No seat at the table. That is why I'm clearing the record and vindicating the Ambrose line. For Mother, for me, and for the generations who will one day inherit Halcyon. Thank you, Captain. You won't regret this. When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust. The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
Что вы рассказали Лаки о его работе?
I told him everything I've told you. Just the facts. Maybe a couple of harmless embellishments. Why?
Пытаюсь понять, насколько велика вероятность покинуть процесс. Просто пытаюсь понять, если у меня все необходимое.
Still, you're smart to ask. Lucky spent most of our time together spinning a pistol around his index finger. Not sure he listened to any of my advice. But you won't let me down, will you, Captain?
Чем я могу служить на Горгоне?
I've never understood why, but Gorgon is teeming with marauders. They almost seem drawn to sorrow and misfortune. Then there's the test subjects, those who survived anyway. Ravenous creatures left behind like so much salvage.
Я буду осторожен.
There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad, the Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room, so if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
The Sprat Shack? Hope they don't serve real sprats. There's a sprat worse place on the Groundbreaker. Tried it once, and I was sick for a week.
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want. Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
В чем подвох? Всегда есть подвох.
The cash? No one's ever done this before, and the only person who tried is a corpse. Believe me, that's enough. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
Насчет вашей матери, может, вам не нужно мое сочувствие, но мне действительно жаль. До связи.
Spacer's Choice should be the one apologizing, but thank you. Sincerely. A word of advice before you go, Captain. Trust no one. Mother's office is in the heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
Don't worry about us. We're well versed in helping ourselves to anything that's not nailed down.
Hey boss, what's our policy on getting to know our clients a little better? You think she'd appreciate some company?
Поговори с ней, Феликс, не узнаешь, пока не попробуешь.
Alright. I can do this. Here goes. Miss Ambrose? Must get awful lonesome up here all by yourself. What do you do for fun? Cause, if you're interested, I've got the full set of Terror on Monarch.
The last thing I need in my life is more corporate propaganda masquerading as entertainment. That won't be necessary. Besides, don't you need your crew on hand? He is? Oh dear. It's been a while and I'm out of practice. You seem very nice and very pretty. And I'm sure there's a wealthy heiress out there who'd be extremely lucky to run away with you. Alas, it isn't me. Are we in agreement?
Hey, no problem. I figured it was worth a shot at least.
Так, что там по интеллекту было? Провалы. Хороший. Его не хватает. Мало его, да? Тут он не вкачивается. Нет, конечно. Еще было убеждение. Что-то там. Всего 79 очков. Ну, не так много для прокачки, на самом деле. Вообще ни о чем. Пока так, пускай. Блять, у меня кончились эти штуки для вспрыскивания. А ГГ нужно, потому что он наркоман. У него ломка начнется.
Please remember. It was before.
Sam, I must confess, I have not been cleaned for far too long. You're sure this will... Oh, yes. That's the spot exactly. Why, I didn't expect you to be so thorough. I am ashamed to admit. Oh, Captain, there you are. Pardon, but perhaps you could afford us some privacy, please?
Scanning for C2.
Welcome back, Captain. See you soon.
Так, Горгон. Но нет, давай-ка на Терру сгоняем. В магазин нам побегаем, надо закупиться.
We are now in orbit above Edgewater,
Руками.
Captain. Stay safe out there.
По идее, надо было научное оружие вкачивать. Но... Ладно, оставлю, не буду продавать. Так, мало Андрена. Надо еще покупать. Что я его тратить буду, пиздец. Так, 51 штука. Ну, в принципе, хватит должно.
Now, hold on. What happens if we hit the wall?
Most likely, the bullet will ricochet, which could be bad. Or hilarious.
Бля, надо было нюку взять. Ладно.
Is that an Apex Mark V queso atmospheric dome? I've never seen one in person. Magnificent.
Дальность прорисовки какая? И кнопка сломалась.
I got supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared. Is that what my thoughts sound like? Law, I've been standing near that alarm too long. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one around here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
Как я понимаю, эвакуационное сирень беспокоиться не стоило.
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. Something to do with that scrap project Gorgon from years back. Thanks for turning it off, by the way. I'd have lost my mind if the damn thing had gone on much longer. We tried. Couldn't persuade the control terminal to listen. No one round here is particularly mechanically inclined, and no one was gonna shut it down by force. That's for sure. I know, because even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw a man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Что ты можешь сказать про проект Горгоне?
Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well.
Так, значит, это Горгона.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
Спасибо. Ну, могу за себя постоять.
All right, you know you better than I do. Just be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. Oh, and the Mance. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Кто такой бухгалтер Чарльз?
Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
От таких разговоров у меня разыгрался аппетит.
Sorry. Been a minute since I last ate. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad Marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
Хочешь сказать, он силен как 3 человека.
That and a rocket launcher.
Так, что там насчет ракетницы?
Did I not mention that? Right. Sorry. He's got a rocket launcher.
Он умеет ей пользоваться?
I don't know. Hard to guess how many he's killed, given the explosions tend to obliterate any bodies. I'm joking. No one bothers looking for bodies. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter.
Хотя бухгалтер Чарльза.
Yeah?
Где, говоришь, он обитает?
The Marauder camp way out to the east. That's what I heard, at least. And I sure hope you're asking so you can keep a safe distance away. Yeah.
Почему его так называют?
His name is Charles and he used to work in accounting?
Не знаю, чего я ждал услышать.
Anything else you needed? Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before.
Кирку, говорит, нашел. 40 урон. Ебать, тот день. Ёпаный в рот. 5 рублей. Нихуя. Ну давай. Я мог бы сам починить. Прекрасно, блядь. Так, там были лучи. Блять, минус 50 урон. Нахуй они тогда нужны тебе, наверное, лучи? Если урон падает. Что они делают-то? Разберемся. Проверить расход электричества. Удалить данные о счете трена. Счет трена. Смотрим, здесь используем. Знакомы ли вы с концептом относительности? Вопрос может с этой точки. Да ебать. Я не понимаю, как тебе удается паковать второе. Наверное, там что-то есть, но такое. Ты кто?
This unit is watching.
Коллектор, что ли?
Come here. Let's have a chat.
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
Did I stutter? Just do as I say.
Want to run that by me again? Feisty one. Well, fuck you too. You're cleared to go downstairs. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place.
Что ты имеешь в виду, когда ты говорил, что остальные изменились?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
Как именно меняются люди?
First they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
Где это я?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Давай, спрошу кое-что.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Что ты знаешь о Горгоне?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects.
Can this colony have one research facility developing something without horrible, face-melting side effects? Is that so much to ask?
Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar. This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again. Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
Highest caliber of what? Is he talking about guns?
Yes, your presence screams high class.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt. Something bad happened here. Stay cool.
Эй, кул, будь холодным, будь крутым. Как правильно перевести? Написали, веди себя тихо. Ну, по сути, понятно.
Looks like a real dive. Hey, I wonder if they got those floorboards that creak when a stranger walks in.
A true den of iniquity. How refreshing.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be? So, you just wandered in for the genteel conversation. Suit yourself. I assume you're here for salvage.
Не совсем. Не могли бы объяснить, о чем это вы?
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
Знаете, парня по имени Лаки Монтоя.
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
Отдел высиживания идей.
That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans and marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him.
Руку я знаю, но остальное остается для меня загадкой.
You know about that? Huh. Word must travel fast around these parts. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Продолжай.
Get this. The canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Откуда вы знаете, что она принадлежала Лаки?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
Мне достали эту руку. Я вроде как родственник Хортона.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Зачем вы решили отправить эту руку?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Где остановился Лаки?
Third floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
Что вы знаете о Горгоне?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrena Time came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Среди ваших клиентов есть те, кто хорошо знает Горгона.
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
Кто такой Роско?
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Бедняга, будем помогать.
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
Left behind. Почему его бросили?
He didn't tell me and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep. If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
Что вы можете сказать про Леонору?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
Вы можете сказать, говорила ли она с Лаки Монтою?
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her. What are friends for, eh?
Как думаете, почему просто космос закрыл Горгон?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrena time still hit the market. Me, I never touch the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Должно быть, реализаторы хорошо зарабатывают на Горгоне.
Damn right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs. When Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open, we're just sifting through dirt. You got it, bub.
Хозяйка этого заведения?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge. Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Спасибо, почему это бар владеешь плюса.
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
Most businesses in Halcyon are run by Sprats, but this is the first I've heard of it being openly acknowledged.
Hey, Sprats can be real dangerous. I once saw a Sprat cross a guy off. Well, not exactly. Guy I worked with choked on a Sprat bone while he was having his usual salt tuna for lunch.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
И как же тогда найти наш плюс?
Easy. His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
Постараюсь не ступить на него, когда буду на первый проход.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The Sprat Shack's gone through a lot of title holders over the years. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
А просто космос не правда, что вы поселились на их складе?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Вы можете ответить на вопрос, не начиная с фразы «и да, и нет»?
Yes and no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Откуда вы получаете припасы?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well-connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well-stocked with the essentials. By which I mean booze. Don't forget to close your tab when you're done.
Are you my agent on the ground?
Sorry?
I've been sent to meet a certain someone about a certain piece of merchandise. They're supposed to use a secret code phrase.
Can't help you. I'm just here to drink.
That's the code phrase. It is you.
Quiet down. You're making a scene.
This rock ain't much to look at, but it's our rock.
This rock ain't much to look at, but it's our rock.
You're an artist, Captain.
Did you bring the payment?
I don't know. Did you bring the goods?
No payment, no goods.
Give me a taste of the goods. Just so I know I can trust you.
You can't trust me. Now, did you bring the payment?
I don't know. Did you bring the goods? Who do you work for anyway? Auntie Pete? Mary the Sprat? Hardtack Harry?
It's Mary the Sprat. But don't you go telling anyone.
You work for Mary the Sprat. I work for Mary the Sprat.
Shit. We shouldn't be seen together. This is a setup. Or a hit. Or both?
Pretend you don't know me. Just play it casual. Can I get you a drink?
No one's coming. Maybe this isn't a hit.
Buy you another round?
I really shouldn't. But I'm thirsty and I got time, so fuck it. This is a family business. Chin up. Look sharp.
Watch your step. Von Hoffman sees everything.
Quit staring. I ain't here for your entertainment.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Привет, кинуть Лекс. У вас тут часто ссорятся из-за пустяков?
It's the same fight every day. 5 years we've been at this, and we still can't agree on how to properly tag salvage. Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly, or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
Я мог бы вмешаться, если что.
You do that for me?
Конечно, я люблю всем помогать.
I appreciate it all the same. You'll be paid for your time and expertise, of course. Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
Пожалуйста, представьте перед...
Oh, very formal. Freddy the Scab, freelancer for sublight salvage and shipping, same as my father before me.
Junkyard Trixie. Also a salvage freelancer, though I've been at it longer than Freddy.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
Как ты заявил свой право на лом?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Как это законно?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
Трикси, что ты можешь сказать?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day, so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Quit leading the prosecution, Hullhead. Anyway, that's my story, sir.
Трикси, какую метку ты ставил?
I drew an X in the dirt, with my toe.
А что, если мародер затвали метку? Или, например, ветер засыпал ее землей?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
Эти идиоты даже не знают, как правильно помещать лом, так что никто его не получит.
That ain't no kind of fair.
He ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a six-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Такое тут часто бывает.
A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
Рад был помочь.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
Oh, boss. I was hoping for a scuffle. I had a bottle ready and everything.
Very diplomatic, Captain. Though fighting would be preferable to another conversation such as that.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
It's been a day, let me tell you.
Quit staring. I ain't here for your entertainment.
Groundbreaker never had bars this nice. They got balconies and everything.
Jerome would have loved this place. You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
Про вас можно сказать то же самое.
Not me. I'm right back where I started, and the end is almost in sight. Listen to me, being all vague and mysterious. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive.
Думаю, вы смогли бы за себя постоять.
Not for long. Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress. Well put. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Можете рассказать что-нибудь интересное про проекте Горгона?
That was above my pay grade, but it didn't take a genius to figure out the higher-ups were working on something big. Months after I got out, I saw the advertisements for Adrena time. I just knew. This is it, Leonora. It was all for this.
10 Jerome.
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
И что заставило вас вернуться на Горгону?
A broken heart, that's what. This place is greedy. It took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
Как вы думаете, что случилось с Жеромом?
No point in denying it, he died on this rock. Likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
Я могу поискать для вас Лего.
You'd really do that for me? Law, and I'll bet you're worth 10 of those sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first. Yeah?
Вы знали Лаки Монтоя?
That old flirt? Yeah, I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Он ничего не говорил про исследование базы на Горгоне?
He bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Он был чем-то расстроен?
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary. Like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a way.
Да все, спасибо за ответ.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close.
Расскажите о том, что вы видели делали на Горгоне.
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
That last drink you ordered had a punch to it. What did you say it was called?
Lunar Eclipse Mix.
Who's this now? Wonder if they could... Ah, who am I kidding? Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here. Oh, you talked to Lex yet? She tell you to keep it civil? You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
Я с ней говорил, она сказала, что ты был кем-то вроде журналиста.
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
Как византийский журналист сказал о таком захолустье?
When the project fell apart, Spacer's Choice refused to extract me. They left me here to rot. Listen, I hate asking for handouts, but my back's against the wall here. If you're going back out there, do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
80% моей работы заключается в помощи старикам. Что тебе нужно?
The other 20% is ordering me around.
Well, I've been trying to get away from this rock for 5 lobby-fucked years, but I can't stay gone.
Это еще почему?
Told you I was a journalist, right? I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
Ты спрятал их, теперь хочешь, чтобы я нашел их, так?
Right on the money. Look at me, I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
Чем прятать записи?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
Ты понял помощницу, где она сейчас?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium. She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
Сегодня твой день, русская, я найду для записи.
No shit? That's downright civilized of you. All right. One of them I stashed in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor. I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Почему именно там?
Seems like a good idea at the time. Someone had started a fire, folks were shooting other folks. It was a madhouse.
Ясно, дальше.
You'll find another in the chem lab. It's in the main lab storage room.
Звучит довольно просто. Что насчет остальных?
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in observation room B.
Зал экспериментальных исследований. Неужели тебя никто не заметил?
What with the test subjects running loose, the researchers were surprisingly unobservant.
Ясно.
Strength to your sword arm, friend. And thank you.
This rock ain't much to look at.
What's the story with this place anyhow?
the old days, I felt like I was part of something important.
What have you got there? Adrenatime, I think. I found some in an old busted crate.
You're just gonna take some drug you found in the garbage?
It's not. It's adrenatime.
Someone's in here. Hold on. It's coming back up again. I'm all right. That last one really emptied my guts.
Great work.
Так, ладно, это я следующий стрим начну с чтения заметок. На сегодня все. Всем огромное спасибо, кто был на стриме. Приходите еще. Следующий стрим как только так сразу. Скорее всего, в четверг. Расписание я изменил. Перешел на старое. 2 стрима по будням, 2 стрима по выходным. Скоро увидимся.